A few months ago, I went to go see the Bob's Burgers movie. When I first saw the film a few months ago, I thought it was good. Not great, but nothing spectacular either, and I could see why the movie wasn't for everyone. But over time, it's starting to kind of grow on me. It may not be one of my favorite films or anything, no, but I'm starting to really appreciate it a little bit more. Not only because it's been a while since the last film we had was a 2D animated film on the big screen, but also because this was a very rare animated film with a PG-13. And that's very rare. You don't see that anymore. And watching the movie again on HBO Max, it actually kind of is a lot better than I remember it. Had fun characters. I liked the soundtrack, the music score. I thought the characters were fun. I liked the writing. And the animation was very beautiful. So the movie has kind of stuck with me for a while. And then when I looked on history for the film, I saw that the movie had a very underwhelming box office performance. So I kind of thought to myself, how could something as good as Bob's Burgers end up as a big flop? Well, before I say anything, first of all, I have some sort of connection with the TV series, but I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, it's not a bad show, I've watched it, but it's not my favorite cartoon or anything. So the thing I want to talk about today is, why did this movie bomb and how did it fail after so much anticipation? Well, these are my 4, maybe 5 reasons as to why the Bob's Burgers movie bombed at the box office. Number 1, competition. Let's get this out of the way, guys. There were a lot of movies when this film came out, and some of them are some of the biggest films of the year. I was thinking about this because while most of these were not critical hits, they were successful at the box office more than Bob's Burgers. So I was kind of thinking to myself, maybe this film did better in August. I mean, it would have had a couple movies maybe around that time that had to go against, but I think it would have fared a lot better, and I think it would have had a better box office performance than it did when it came out in May. Number 2, 2D animation. For those who don't know, 2D animation is a extinct art form now. I mean, it's still being run even to this day, I mean, especially on television, but for a while, 2D animation wasn't really seen as big for a while. I mean, at least during the early 2000s, mid-late 2000s. You know, movies like Home on the Range and a lot of the DreamWorks movies around that time killed 2D animation for a while. You know, Disney tried to bring it back with movies like Princess and the Frog and Winnie the Pooh, but nothing stood out. And we did have a few movies based on TV shows like TTG or the My Little Pony movie, but nothing huge. And I do give credit for Bob's Burgers to try to bring that back, but it just probably wasn't enough for people to come back into theaters again. Number 3, adult animation. Just like I said before, it's been a while since an adult animated film was released on the big screen. Sausage Party and Isle of Dogs are a good example of that. However, when it comes to adult animation, I can kind of understand this one a little bit more because when you think about it, when they mean adult animation, I mean like no kids allowed, you know? I'm expecting teens and mostly older adults going to this movie. Now, when I saw the film when it came out, there were a couple families when I went in there, but not a whole lot of people, mostly teens, mostly. And that explains a lot because this movie was probably not for everyone, which makes sense because, you know, you gotta know your audience. So I feel like this movie just didn't know who the movie was made for. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Maybe it's for everyone. I don't know. And I will probably never know. And for my final reason, the show itself. This may sound mean, but I feel like Bob's Burgers doesn't have a broader audience. Because when you're going to make a movie based on a TV show, you want to make sure not only do the fans go and watch it, but also for those who are familiar with the show. Well, not only that, but you also got to make sure you're pleasing the moviegoers itself. And maybe the movie just didn't most moviegoers weren't comfortable going to this, and maybe there's just not that many fans out there or that many people that watch or even like Bob's Burgers. So it's not to be mean because, you know, I actually really like the show itself, but this is all just theories and stuff, you know? But anyways, I just feel like the movie just didn't have a bigger audience for those who watch the show. But then again, these are all just theories. So, overall, guys, if you haven't seen this film, please go check it out. I don't think it's for everyone, but I at least do give it a chance if you can. It's on HBO Max, and I think it's on DVD now, so I'll just leave this movie be. Well, I gotta go. Take care, guys.